Alright, here's the first step that we've got in the Cyclone. It's the first thing I've really been doing to it. We're going to pull the motor and transmission out. We're going to get the car out of the shop for a little bit, hopefully start on the 51 here shortly. But one of the big things I want to do is pull the original 289 down, take a look at it, make a decision on if we want to stay with that power plant or if we want to go with something different. And the inside will tell us on that. So I have absolutely no idea. I was told it was running, of course, when it was parked, which is what everyone says, but that's usually the reason why I got parked, because it quit running. Let's get at it. Let's see what we can get done. Most part, everything's already been, the motor and transmission was just set back in the car where the original owner had started doing the paint and body work on it. They just stabbed it back in. Literally, there's nothing bolted up. There's no motor mounts bolted up, the transmission cross member, no nothing. We're just going to play it by ear, just pull the sucker off and see what happens. Awesome. It's out. Sitting on the ground. That's pretty good. I waited a while to get that thing out, honestly. I've had the car here for quite a while now. Pretty stoked about getting it out. Looking forward to taking it apart, seeing what's going on with it. We might go ahead and try to hang it on the engine stand now so it's easy to move around. Go ahead and zip the transmission off of it, pull the clutch and stuff off. And like I said, even if we do stay with 289, the front end's going to get changed. We're going to do some front end upgrades to it. Whether I custom build some stuff or whether we buy something already made, I'm not sure yet. But even if we use the 289, the plans for it are for it to be, well, it definitely won't be stock. Kind of leaning towards using the original motor, doing a few little tweaks and upgrades to it. Not going to do anything crazy because these motors, 600 horsepower, and they start splitting in half. That's one of the sad things about the 302 289 motor is just not very strong linear wise. So it'll literally just split the block in two. You start making much more horsepower than that. There's guys out there that have done it, obviously, but it's way more stress on what it needs. I'm not a guy that goes after horsepower numbers. I like to have a vehicle that is usable power. If it's got 450, 500 horsepower and I can put it all on the ground and absolutely have a blast with it, that's all I care about. I'm not chasing those 6, 7, 8, 900 horsepower numbers out of it. I want it to be reliable. I do hopefully want to get a little bit better fuel economy out of it than what it was originally. It's 420, 450 horsepower motors I've seen in projects I've done. I've been able to get, 15 miles to the gallon. If I could be somewhere closer to 20 with this, I would be ecstatic. And I think I could get to that number with a 5-speed or 6-speed transmission behind it, and with the different upgrades we're looking at doing. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun little project, but I do want to do something that's a little bit different than everything else out there. This stuff is just, the factory steering is just pretty, I mean, it's antiquated for one thing. Gearbox gets in the way. The cylinder right there that you see, that is what I was talking about, is the hydraulic assist. It's just basically exactly what it says. It's just a hydraulic cylinder that pushes and pulls, which helps you steer the car better. They've had all kinds of problems. There's an orbital valve that goes over here on the side. Well, you can't really see it here, but way up underneath the end of it, and that's kind of what helps tell it what kind of pressure it needs to push or pull, and those things go out. There used to be a ton of rebuild kits and stuff out for them, which there probably still are, but best thing to do is just do away with that, put a rack and pinion. I've made a couple of kits that bolted into the stock suspension, that worked well. I've also built a couple of strut suspension kits for these style cars, which still uses the shock tower but trims it way down. I mean, you can take a lot of material out of the shock tower, the hats and stuff for the strut and everything mount on top. And it's got like a K-member, almost like a Mustang, with a Mustang rack, but the control arms and all bolt in similar to the stock ones here, but they were all tubular stuff that tied in. So I'm not sure which direction I really want to go with it yet. We'll get it out, get it apart, do some figuring, do some talking. The one thing that has to remain is it has got to be reliable, because my wife's going to be driving this car. So I definitely don't want to take any shortcuts, don't want to take any chances. Car will have air conditioning and that stuff on it, which would be, it'll be another project in itself. But reliability and durability is the name of the game for this one. I was always under the impression that this was the original 289 motor. I know from the VIN code on the car it is a 289 4-speed car. I originally looked it up, looked at the intake, the forecasting number off the intake. 67 model car. Intake is a C6, which means 66 model, 67 model intake. It's like great. But checking the engine block and stuff, I'm seeing some spots in here that weren't cast on the earlier models. Places for knock sensors, that kind of stuff. Still, even the year model this is, that wouldn't really been a thing. But the block is a 74. 74 casting anyway. So obviously it's not the original motor, so I don't feel bad at all about changing on with it. But most likely, if we can figure out how to make it all work, finance-wise and logistics as far as a company that'll work with us. Just want to throw this out here, but I would love to put a 2.7 or 3.5 EcoBoost in the car with a 6-speed. We've even considered going with the 2.3 EcoBoost. We make some really nice horsepower on those with the right setup. Someone has some contacts in the auto recycling fields and the junkyards and stuff that we might be able to get up on a really good deal on a 3.5 or a 2.7 or a 2.3 even. Drop us a note, send me an email, drop a line. I would really like to go that direction with the car. So drop a comment, hit me up. Let's see if we can make that happen. Like I said, my wife's going to be driving, so we're definitely going to go back with air conditioning and all that stuff. It's going to be a daily driver, but it will be really awesome to make it something that you don't see every day. Keep watching, keep liking. Please tell your friends, send it out. Spread the word. Let's see if we can get some subscriptions build up, some views build up, and let's make more neat things happen.